It's nice to have you join me on another exciting episode of Accountprenuer. My name is Bayode Agbi. This episode is the second in the series of the bookkeeping episode. And in this episode, we'll be looking at those things you need to consider, like advisory, while you consider your bookkeeping as part of your entrepreneurship or business owner journey. Now, if you follow the first episode, in the first episode, we basically spoke about why bookkeeping is important, what is bookkeeping, and I ended the episode with a bit of advice, tips on how to get your bookkeeping to speed. Now, if you didn't see that first episode, I would advise strongly that you watch it. It's part of this playlist below. Now, I'm sorry, let me start by apologizing that this episode is coming late. The reason was that I had to go to Igbojaye or your state to Cap Village. My friend Kunle Afolayan was wrapping the film Anikulapo series, and I was there to witness the wrap filmmaking. Unfortunately, I shot the episode there and also uploaded, but somehow I got some things wrong in terms of and I messed up the entire thing. And so I'm shooting this episode days after to it. Now, if you've not been to Cap Village, I will kind of just say it's a good place to go to, a very quiet village where you can actually go rest. There's fully already built hotel there. So if you are like a nature person like me, like to ride horses, is somewhere you should visit. I wish I could have shot that episode properly, because what I did was I shot it with the backdrop of one of the kingdoms that they used in Anikulapo, the movie, which I'm sure some of you will really recognize if you have seen Anikulapo, the film. But look out for Anikulapo. The series is coming to very soon. It's coming out very soon. And we'll discuss about my role in film accounting in some other episode. But for today, let's talk of bookkeeping. This episode, I want to give like advice on what you need to consider in your journey as an entrepreneur, and why you need to put some things very, very important. You must agree, even Warren Buffett said it, that accounting is a language of business. The language of business actually is accounting, but bookkeeping is a bedrock, is a foundation of accounting. Therefore, it is very, very important that you take your bookkeeping serious, because like I said in the first episode, in Pillarcraft, the first thing we try to get right with you is your bookkeeping, because we know is the foundation on which we build accounting, we build CFO, we build advisory, we build every other thing. Once you don't have your bookkeeping sorted, every other thing becomes almost impossible. If they ever get it done, there's going to be a lot of struggle. And I'm sure in this episode, by the time you finish this episode, you will understand why some things will become a lot of struggle if you don't get your bookkeeping right, get go. Now, I must also say that I know that a lot of people, business is not taught in any school. We learn these things that will go on. Yes, it's possible that you didn't really consider it, but I want to take it from this episode. One of the takeaways I want you to take out of this episode is to start looking at bookkeeping as a big factor in your business and your entrepreneurship journey. So, number one advice I want to give you is that you must be intentional. You must be intentional about your books. Now, why is that? Because most times when I'm talking to business owners, they take bookkeeping as that residual function. Now, please note, I will also admit with you that marketing is very big. It's very important. If you cannot market and you don't sell, your business is basically dead. However, after marketing and selling, and you don't know where anything is going into, because 9 out of 10 times when business owners come to me, most times maybe they're in their 5th year, their 4th year of business, the first thing they say to me, in fact, I had a meeting just today around that same topic, is that, oh, we're making so much money, I really don't understand what's happening. We're making so much money, I don't know what we're spending the money on. bookkeeping will have first given you that clarity about what is coming in and what you are spending your money on. So it's important that you are intentional. Intentionality also means that you make sacrifices of time, of effort, of resources to ensure that bookkeeping is sorted. Yesterday, I was having a talk with a business owner, and I explained to him that do not consider your investment in your system as a cost. They're actually an asset. Because at the end of the day, they are that consistent data that you can refer to. Whatever happens in your business, people come, people go, anything happens. The consistency in the data you have in that your business is the asset that you can use to make decisions. So you must be intentional, and it's very important, because if you are not intentional about it, you will never be focused on getting it right. Now, number 2 is that you must begin with the end in mind. When I say begin with the end in mind is, let's look at it this way. What are you intending to get out of this bookkeeping thing you are doing? Normally, the output from your bookkeeping, of your bookkeeping effort, will be your financial statement. Now, your financial statement are data just stored in some books, some ledgers that will tell you how the business is doing. So it's important that you decide as you're starting your journey, what kind of data do you need to get out of this, your accounting or your books? So having the end in mind means that you will decide and say, I want to see the data relating to petrol. I want to see the data relating to salaries. I want to see the data relating to cost. If you go to episode 1, I said bookkeeping is organization. It's like you are classifying and organizing pebbles that you have thrown on the floor, and you're trying to create organization out of the chaos of the entire thing happening. And I also explained that it's almost as if you want to ensure, so that you have clarity of this, that you color code these expenses into various buckets. And that's what it is. So if you have, for example, the end in mind and say that I want to see how this thing will pan out, it's important that you start to decide how the buckets you want to hold this thing. And in technical accounting terms, that is what we call the chart of accounts. The chart of accounts is the various buckets that you have designed that you want expenses to be categorized into, to give you clarity. So let's go again using the analogy I gave in episode 1. So if you say, for example, you want revenue to be color-coded blue, you can use blue to represent all revenue that's coming in. However, say for instance, you now decide that I want to see clearly how much I'm making from this particular product. It means that you will separate that product from every other blue. You may now make that product a sky blue. And you say for this other product, I want to make it a navy blue. And this other product, I want to make it an ocean blue. Like that, you have various blues that when you are looking at your revenue, you don't just see the total revenue, you see the revenue that you are making from different products. Those are the kind of data that you want to have, and therefore that's one of the things you want to have the end in mind. The second thing that you will have, having an end in mind, is the kind of bookkeeping system you want to have. Do you want to have a manual system? Do you want to have a semi-manual system? People that are using Excel spreadsheet to manage your business, I call it a semi-manual system. Or you have to have an accounting system. If you want to have an accounting system, do you want to have a desktop accounting system, or you want to have cloud accounting software? Now, we need to decide this with the end in mind. The end in terms of, I won't say the end of a business, but how far do you want to take your business to? Now, why do I say so is that I've seen a lot of SMEs and business owners invest so much into facility, invest so much into decoration, doing all those things, but they don't even have any accounting system that they are basically working on. And then in 3 years' time, it now dawned on them that they needed to have a system. And at that time, it's a lot of struggle. Now, but if you take your accounting bookkeeping system as part of what you need to invest money as get-go, you may look at it as an asset. Just the way you are doing the signposts, spending so much money on the signpost and all that. And then you take that as an asset and also invest money into it, because you know that this thing is a 5 years or 7 years or 10 years plan that you're working on. Entrepreneurship journey is not a sprint, it's a marathon. We keep running, and most times even the vision that we have, the plan we have, the way the our outlook keeps changing, and also affects our belief and how we approach our business. In fact, I was telling somebody that business is almost as if you are traveling on a lonely road with one headlight. You can only see sometimes just 100 meters to your front, and as you go on, your horizon keep opening up, and that's what it is. So things keep changing. So you need to decide here with the end in mind, the kind of accounting system you want to run with. So two things you need to have. One, like I said, the chart of account, what you want to see, and then the kind of accounting system you want to run. 3, learn the basics of bookkeeping theories and concepts. It will not harm you to understand what is term and asset, what is a liability, what is an equity, what is a income, what is a revenue, what is a cost, expenses, and what is even the cost of goods sold. It's important you be able to different. Actually, let's even look at the issues around expenses. Now, I've seen a lot of business that they don't clearly define what is cost of goods sold, whatever you are selling, what is cost associated with it, and the other costs. And even in other costs, we have costs that are variable based on the number of sales you make or how you grow, and the ones that are fixed. For example, your rent may be fixed, may not have bearing to number of staff you employ, but your number of staff may have bearing to the size of your operation. You understand? So you need to understand those simple costs. Now you need to understand things like what is cash basis of accounting and what is an accrual basis of accounting. Which one should you adopt in your business? Now all this, there are a lot of courses on the internet, on YouTube, that you can learn some of these things for. Now, by the end of this course, one of the things that we'll be able to share with you, a course that we've developed by Pillarcraft that you can attend. But for now, at the bottom of this, we have a series, a bookkeeping series that you can actually subscribe to, and you can get the emails that gives you those courses that you can learn those fundamental concepts and theories of bookkeeping. 3 is that you must be able to understand the kind of books that you have. What's the difference between a management account and another financial statement? What is a profit and loss account, or what we call now statement of financial performance? What is a balance sheet, or what we call now statement of financial position? What is a cash flow statement? How do you read all these books, and how do you understand, how do you make sense for some of these things? It's important you take time to educate yourself regarding this thing as an entrepreneur. Don't leave it for chance. Most people come to me when they are about to raise funds, and that's when they start looking at, oh, I need to understand the meaning of this or this stuff. But all these things and the ratio behind your business help you to understand how your business is performing. Number 4 now, you must develop a good bookkeeping culture. Your bookkeeping culture is those things that you must decide that you must do. Either you like it or not, it becomes part of your routine. For example, the bookkeeping culture that I want to develop is making sure if you are using an accounting system, all your invoices and bills are raised in your accounting system. No matter how you want to buy something, raise it in your accounting system. You want to sell to a customer, give the invoice within your accounting system so that you don't lose track of some of those things. Number 2, block out some time. Usually I do it on a Sunday between 3 and 6. I know I'm free. I've done a lot of things, and I'm planning the next week. I want to review last week. One of the things I also put into my weekly review plan is looking at my books, reconciling what needs to be reconciled, and getting all those things out of the way. So you may need to also put as part of your culture, making sure you reconcile. Some people put their reconciliation to month end. The only challenge I have with that is that sometimes, business is moving very fast, that even you do some expenses, you are the person that actually use the card, you may not remember what you use these expenses for by the end of the month. In fact, if you don't do it sometimes the next day when you're looking at that expense, you actually just blank out because you can't really remember. So I usually advise that maximum, if possible for you, every week, do your bookkeeping, reconcile your account. Some of you must have gone to some of our brothers' shop in the evening and they tell you they are trying to close their books. They're trying to enter everything in their books. That's part of the culture some of them are built based on their apprenticeship, which is a wonderful thing. Finally, be true to yourself. If you cannot do some of these things, outsource it. Bookkeeping, as it is not for everyone. I've said it, even some accountants have agreed that they don't like to do it. So if you fall into that area, don't try to struggle with it. At the beginning of your business, talk to an outsourced accountant like Pillarcraft, and they can actually help you in your journey as you go. Don't force it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in this episode, I've given you those key advices that will help you in your entrepreneurship journey. I hope I've been able to add value to you today. If you want to kind of add anything to this episode, or you have any feedback you want to share with us, or you have any comment, kindly comment on this video below, and we'll definitely interact with you. If you found this episode very interesting and rewarding or valuable, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on all the social media network so that you are aware when we drop new episodes. Until I come your way again with the next episode of Accountprenuer, which will be the third of the series of bookkeeping, where we'll be looking at those tools and those technology that you can use to help you streamline your bookkeeping journey. That will be the next episode. Thank you for staying with me on this episode. Again, my name is Bayode Agbi. Thank you very much. Bye for now.